So Optimum Tech just revealed this final version of the Zeromouse titled The Blade, and there's a good few things I want to talk about. Now initially the Zeromouse was, or well, still is, just a mod kit for the Razer Viper V2 Pro PCB. But the product as a whole is pretty expensive and also pretty wasteful. Now don't get me wrong, the Viper V2 Pro PCB is very good in performance, and it's also very accessible to everyone, especially considering you can just walk into a retail store and just pick one up, or even just go onto Facebook Marketplace or even eBay and just get one secondhand. But even then, the product as a whole is still pretty expensive. On release, the shell did cost $70 US, and the Viper V2 Pro PCB on average will set you back $50 US. So that's already $120 US for something that's not really a full product. But regardless of that, the Zeromouse itself is a niche inside of a niche. Now, as I've spoken in the past, I do obviously have both versions of the Zeromouse. Now, the latest V35 has gone through major improvements. It's given us more ergonomics, but also more curvature, just to give us that extra bit of comfort. The reason I'm saying this mouse is a niche inside of a niche is the fact that fingertip-specific mice are already a niche itself. And now the Zeromouse goes a bit further than that, considering this mouse is shaped after Optimum's grip style and also his hand size, making it very limited to a few people who can use this mouse very comfortably. Now, regardless of the old Zeromouse themselves, the Blade will take care of quite a bit of the wastefulness and expensiveness of what it once was.
So that was a fucking lie.
That being with Optimum going to Final Mouse to collaborate on a release with their new PCB, which is going to be smaller, lighter, and still provide us with some insane performance. Now, even though Final Mouse have gone through a fair share of criticism, from myself included, but this is one product I feel I can really get behind. It's going to be something really good for the scene of peripherals. Now, the reason why I bring that up is the fact that the Final Mouse PCB, which is titled the Falcon, will be available as a standalone purchase, meaning that you as a consumer or an enthusiast will be able to get this PCB without needing to buy the Blade. The Zeromouse V34 was the first iteration of the Zeromouse, and this released late in 2023. There was quite a bit of controversy surrounding the mouse, but also in releasing this product, it did spark a lot of inspiration for people to go and take the idea of a fingertip-focused, aim-only mouse and just take it to the next level. But there have also been others who have gone and developed their own ideas to what the ideal fingertip mouse could be, of which a lot of these files are available to be able to 3D print. Now, like Haunterwell, for example. Months ago, I did put in a request to make a tweaked version of one of my favorite mouse shapes, being fingertip for me, and this is going to be the MZ1 by Rocket Jump Ninja. It is really well done. It weighs very little and still has a working scroll wheel and side buttons. Now, this is someone who's been grinding their arse off, making a bunch of designs with inspirations from other mice. But then there's also other mod kits that you can buy from Caffeinated Customs, for example, having a very interesting take on the Zeromouse with more aggressive curves, a bigger size, and probably some of my favorite feeling clicks on a mod kit yet. And last but not least would be PMM mods. They also have a very interesting but still very reminiscent shape of the Zeromouse, being the AIM 8K, with the option to purchase it pre-assembled or as a mod kit as well, but they also have quite a catalogue of other options which are very light versions of existing shapes. And I feel the AIM 8K, although very similar to the Zeromouse, also could have been inspiration for the new Blade, giving it a bit more organic branches for support in the structure and maybe improves even how the clicks feel. Now, even though all of this is great, I do still have some critiques that do need to be mentioned based on my first impressions from the recent Blade video. Why do we not have the option for side buttons on this PCB? Now, even though the Zeromouse doesn't make use of side buttons, it does limit us as tinkerers and enthusiasts to make our own shapes based on a mouse with side buttons. Now, my final critique ever since the first Zeromouse: why do we still have such little real estate for grip styles? A lot of us do have different shape hands and different grip styles, and I do understand that this mouse is made for fingertip focus, but also myself being a person with bigger hands, this does get quite a bit uncomfortable after a bit of playtime. Now, I do really think it is such an easy change to make by just elongating the sides just to have a bit more surface area, but also the option to have a bit of a wider Zeromouse for obviously bigger hands. But anyways, regardless of the Zeromouse as a whole, I do feel having this inspiration for fingertip mice and just designing as a whole is very good for the scene of peripherals. It makes it a bit more exciting and a bit more interesting. But also regardless, I am pretty excited for the Blade, but even more excited for that PCB. But the biggest thing for me is I'm hoping this new PCB will be pretty affordable, but only time will tell.